Hello and welcome to Anfield, where AFC Wimbledon are taking on Liverpool in the third round of the FA Cup. In a stunning turn of events, it's raining in England. But Anfield's a great pitch. We'll be fine. Unfortunately, you may remember that in our last game I said I was trying to rest a lot of players because we had this game coming up, but this game is literally the day after the last game, and I couldn't rest all of our players, which has put us in a bad situation. So I'm just going to do my best. We've got some players who have zero energy, but we've also got the beast, Adebayo Akinfenwa, up front, and that is a massive structural advantage over Liverpool. It's the one thing that they can't compete with. You add all of those men together, and they don't have the strength of one Adebayo Akinfenwa. Also, in my last video, I forgot to say thanks to Sarah, who donated to get that YouTuber fanfiction video. Thank you, Sarah. And today's video, also a Project for Awesome topic. Basically, people can donate to the Project for Awesome and pick the topic of a Wimbly Womblys video, which is great because they always pick good topics. This one is from Julian, who asks, what is the meaning of friendship? Are online friendships real friendships? And if so, can I please refer to you as my friend? On AFC Wimbledon, real quick, we've got both of the Adebayos, Adebayo Aziz and Adebayo Akinfenwa, starting up front for us. And then we have a very weak midfield that includes one central defender because he's the only person we have who's available. For some reason, we have a Zimbabwean referee, which is unusual in an English game, but I'm into it. Yeah, we've got a strong strike partnership-ish, not as strong as I'd like, but ish strong, and we're just gonna hope that we can just rest on the immense shoulders of the great Adebayo Akinfenwa in this situation because, frankly, he's all we got on some level. We've got a very tired Reeves out there. We've got a few other... Oh, that's a great ball. That's great. And then Akinfenwa. Akinfenwa's found the space. Akinfenwa in minute one off the post. Oh, it's devastating. The first... Oh, I mean, that's unrealistic because in real life he never misses that opportunity. Oh man. But look at that little guy. Look at Reeves, Meredith. He's exhausted, but he's still going. He's going to fall apart. He's going to get injured. I only have like 3 non-injured players right now, so I really can't have any more injuries. Oh no! Woo! Passing out of the back just like the Wimbly Womblys do. And then Akinfenwa's on it. Akinfenwa, he's going to pass. That's a good-looking ball. Oh, Reeves can't track it down because he's already tired in the 8th minute. So I think online friendships are as real as any other friendships, and I think that. But I also don't think you can refer to me as your friend. Those are the two things that I. Oh no, Meredith! Oh, okay. He's down, but he's not injured. I'm sorry. I overreacted to the size of the crisis. But you've got to understand when your number one and number 2 goal-scoring threat, Adebayo Akinfenwa, goes down, you freak out. It's natural. Yeah, so I started making online friends, or as I like to call them, friends, back in, I guess the first online friendship I had was in 1993 or 1992. The internet was very different back then, right? Like it was composed, that's a good save by Shea. It was composed entirely of text, for one thing. Like there were no images. You could sort of make what were called text macros. Ooh, everything worked out better than expected. Which were images made out of text. People still do that sometimes. But there were no images. You didn't exchange pictures. You used your real name. It was a different place. Also, it charged by the minute in many cases, or by the hour. So, the sort of like always on way we approach the internet now, it was very different back then. Like you'd log on to look up the weather in Qatar or something, and then immediately log off as fast as you could. The first like internet friendship I made was with a young woman. I was probably 13 and she was probably, I don't know, like 20 or something. She was like a grown up to me, but like now I would, oh no! Wow, way to get down on that ball, Shay. Goodness gracious. You got to say we're outmatched here, Meredith. There's no two ways about it. We are on the proverbial back foot ever since Akinfenwa did not complete Hold on. Wait for me. I will get the ball to you at the time of my choosing. There you go. Get to it. Oh, yes! 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 Go to the camera. We're on TV for once. Yes! Yes! Show them your name! Oh, it's beautiful. It was a beautiful, beautiful passage of play and then just barely got to Aziz. Well, I have to say, I think was fouled there. Might be a red card on the keeper. No, he jumped over him. Great job. Great job. I don't have a song for you yet, Aziz, but that was beautiful. It brought a tear to my frickin' eye. Oh, my God. It was beautiful. The way that Akinfenwa broke out of the corner kick. We are a team that knows how to counterattack, and that's vital when you're playing somebody like Liverpool. We just sat back and waited, and then we sprung the counterattack. We were like Leicester City right there. And now Adebayo Akinfenwa was on the ball again. Gets it to Aziz. Aziz is going to have to do some hold-up play while we wait for the rest of the people to come in. That's way too long. So anyway, like that was my first online friendship, and because like back then there was a lot of like geography-based bulletin boards, like they were sort of local bulletin boards. So I met her in real life, and it turns out we weren't friends in real life because I was 13 and she was 20, and like you can't, like that's just a weird age gap. Like the age gap was much more evident in real life than it was online, which was my first sort of entree into how like your online self and your physical self aren't necessarily the same selves, but that doesn't mean that either self is sort of like less real, I guess is what I would argue. I would argue that like the fact that my online self is different from my physical self doesn't mean that my online self is fake or false. It just means that it's different. And similarly, I think that my physical self is in some ways, like also not the full real, quote unquote, real me. They're just like, Firmino's haircut in both real life and in FIFA, just awful. Thank you for this news that somebody has bought somebody else for more money than AFC Wimbledon has spent in the last 100 years. That's just great it's just so good. That was so good by Akinfenwa. Then he was offside, but like he's just so strong. You can pass the ball to him deep, and he's just there, and he's strong and big and tough. Oh man, what a time to be alive! Beating Liverpool at Anfield 1-0 with a squad of exhausted players. But look at that, they just see, yeah. Well, it's starting to show. Nervous. But I think we got the block in there. All right, and it's halftime. My next, the next summer, the summer after I think 9th or 10th grade, when I was 14 or 15, was the summer that I made, the friends that I made then, in many cases I still know. And some of them have become very good friends, and even the ones who haven't were very important friends to me in my youth. In fact, like if you asked me like who were my best friends in my teenage years, some of them were sort of physical people, and some of them were largely internet presences in my life, but still very real ones. That's also where I met my first, my first love, I guess, the first woman I fell in love with, who was my college girlfriend, and we dated for many. That was much scarier than it needed to be. We dated for many years and were extremely, extremely close and like extremely important in each other's lives, even though we're not like pals now, which I think is probably healthy. And I would argue, he's a genius. Go to the camera. Point to your name. That's like, some reason he always points to his name. Maybe it's because he's the 5th choice striker and he's trying to remind me to pick him more often. But Aziz! Oh my gosh, what a fantastic finish. And just filling. Oh, Meredith. Unfortunately, I have terrible news. We have to substitute him out immediately. He has the same frickin' chin strap that Beer does. This is terrible. Oh no! I was enjoying him, and now I have to sell him. Oh no, I can't accept the applause, sir. All right. No, I still love you, Aziz, even though you've got just the worst possible beard. I know that the real life Aziz is just as horrified by that as I am. There's no way that he has that beard in real life. I don't think anyone does. Have you ever seen anyone with that beard? No, not in real life. It's strictly a fictional kind of beard. Uh-oh! Oh, again, a vital block put in by our hardworking and very well-bearded defenders. That's just an... Okay, he didn't get in a block. But he's... Oh, he did, apparently. Just didn't look like it on FIFA. And like because I had this long-term, physical relationship, like in-person relationship with someone that I sort of had a, virtual relationship with or online relationship with before, I feel like I can say with some authority that both were real, like even though I'd actually never seen a picture of her until we met in real life, like a year after we started talking, like my affection for her was real. My feelings toward her were real. And her feelings toward me were real. And like, so I do think that, so basically I think that online friendships are real friendships. The reason I don't think you have an online friendship with me, although I have great admiration for you and I'm sure that you're a lovely person, is that I don't know you, right? Like the connection doesn't go both ways. And that's such a weird thing. Like I remember in 2006 I was a massive fan of this oh god. Oh, we passed it out of the back because that's what Wimbly Womblys do. Panic. Didn't work. Oh no. Thankfully Aziz has scored 2 goals. So what we've got to do, Meredith, is we've just got to shore up that defense. Reeves is more than tired. He has no energy bar. Gallagher at least has an energy bar, but I don't have anyone to bring on for Reeves except for Bowman, who's barely got an energy bar. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take off Gallagher, and I'm actually going to bring on Lockyer, and hopefully he'll just sort of drift backwards. And then I like Robinson and Nightingale where they are. The only thing is I would like Fuller is also just completely without energy, so I'm going to have to pull him off. And then I'm going to put Osborne in the middle of defense and put Nightingale out to the right. Again, I know that I'm playing players out of position, but you should see my injury list. Oh, it's a good celebration and everything, but you're losing. You guys realize you're losing. So just as a heads up, you're not winning the game. It was a nice finish. In that situation, that was just a kid who's exhausted, trying to get to a ball in the biggest game of his life. This is the biggest game of AFC Wimbledon season so far. I mean, we're playing in front of 50,000 people. The pressure is intense, but we've got. But amazingly, our 5th choice striker manages to score 2 goals for us. It's an example of just how team focused this team is. What our spirit is, where our heart is. We just play together as a team, and sometimes there are unlikely heroes. And today it was Aziz. So So anyway, in 2006, I was a massive fan of this show, the show with Zay Frank, and I remember thinking, I would really be friends with this guy. Like, he would really like me, I think, because I really like him and I really like his work. And now I know Zay Frank, and I feel like I can still say that I was right about that. Like, I wasn't wrong exactly. It's just that, oh no, bad pass. It's just that he didn't know me, like he didn't, so he couldn't. So, and like, there was no way for Zay to know all of the people who felt that way about him, right? Like, oh, that's nice distribution of the ball. And then it's to Akinfenwa. What a searching, beautiful pass. And it's Akinfenwa, and he's all alone. He's a finisher. Adebayo Akinfenwa, the beast. He's big, he's round, he's worth 10 million pounds. Akinfenwa. Oh, it's beautiful. And Liverpool are going home. And the Emirates FA Cup 4th round tie will be against AFC Wimbledon and somebody, because we just scored a beaut of a goal. Look at that. We got, by the way, very late, very serious foul. But it didn't stop Adebayo Akinfenwa, because he's a force of nature. He's not so much a human being as he is a set of ideals. So the other thing that I would say is that, like, one of the reasons we can't be friends is because, knowing someone's sort of like public internet persona is not the same thing as like knowing them private. Oh no! not the same thing as knowing them like privately online, if that makes sense. So I think like there's just this inevitable disconnect that's kind of built in to that like the relationship between creators and audience. But it's a weird thing, right? Because because you do personally know me. Like this is me, but I probably, oh no, whew, boy, Shea's had a good game, but I'd probably be a little bit, oh boy, well, you're offside? Did you cheat? Why did you have to cheat, Firmino? I was very nervous there for a second. Oh boy, I mean, this game, you got to say Shea has been the star of this game. Yeah, so but I don't know. I still, after all these years, I don't quite know how I feel about that sort of like fraught, complicated, beautiful, productive relationship between online creators and audience, because we all need each other for it to work. And yeah, so that's another video that I end on an unsettled note. But one thing I'm not unsettled about is Aziz's 2 goals from 2 shots. Adebayo Akinfenwa, both of the Adebayos score in a single game. It's beautiful. Liverpool's going home. We won 3-1. It's just, this was unthinkable at the beginning of the season. But I hope that you feel like I've made some strides. Thank you for watching. Best wishes.